morning. Today's video is about the smmtine k15-2mp test. That's the model number that's on the side of the camera. This camera currently sells for $30 on Amazon. It comes with what you see here. It has a power supply. It has a set of wall mounting inserts and a water resistant / waterproof connection for Ethernet. It works with wireless and wired connections. According to the description at the time that this was made, or this video was made, this only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and it supposedly is a 4K video. It also states that it's IP66 waterproof and that it has 360-degree rotation. I think that's the most of the claims. So first off, we'll get right to the point. This thing does not support on-VIF. It does not have an RTSP stream. It only works with the Nye 3C app, and from what I can tell, it appears that the camera is made by Nye, N-E-Y-E. They have a website. First off, also the 4K resolution, it is not 4K, it is 1080p. And its camera can rotate 355 degrees, not 360. I apologize for the cat. My cat decided that it's break time and that I need to pet her. And I'm not going to stop making the video just because of that. So, Nye 3C, their website says this camera can be accessed from a PC. That's not true. It does not. You cannot access it from a PC browser. Maybe if you had a special program. When I was searching, I found on some sketchy looking websites what was supposedly an app, but I wasn't about to download it to test it, since it wasn't in like the Windows App Store or on the manufacturer's website. When you get the camera, in order to use it, you have to, I don't know if you absolutely have to do this, but it requires you to create an account in the app. You have to sign up through the app, and then you can add, you're supposed to be able to add the camera that way. The instructions for this don't exactly work as they say. Like you said here, it says you have to create an account, and then you're supposed to let's see here, click plus, and then it says add Wi-Fi camera using Sonic, and it says you should have the camera within 4 feet of the phone. And what it will do is it will play some sounds, and the camera is supposed to respond, and it doesn't do it. What I found works best is to add either using Wi-Fi existing hotspot, or there's another one where I think if you add existing camera, it will search the LAN if you connect it to an Ethernet cable. Oh God. One of the things it says is that you can't connect it to a Wi-Fi hotspot that has a name longer than 10 characters and a password longer than 10 characters. And that is initially true. When you first get it, you can't do that, but once it's added, you can actually go in and connect it to a different Wi-Fi hotspot, and that can have a name that's longer, because my Wi-Fi name and password is longer than 10 characters, and I was able to add it. Then it tells you that you should set up an account for cloud storage, which I did not do. I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to give my money and store my videos on some strange cloud server somewhere. So let's go over some of the things about this. Oh, and one of the things that happens when you connect using the app is there's an option in there where you go through the settings. I'm not going to go through this on. I've removed it from the test phone I use, but there's an option to check the firmware or update the firmware, and it will find firmware, but it will download the firmware, and it will tell you, the camera will speak, and it'll tell you it's updating the firmware, and then it'll restart, and you go in and it's got the old firmware. So it just, for whatever reason, that it will not update the firmware, and there's no other way to update it. The phone app is kind of clunky in how you control the camera. It does have the ability to follow people, and it's actually pretty good at following things, but you have to turn the speed up for the speed of that the camera pans and tilts for it to do that properly. Also, it says that it only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, but once it connected to my 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, it then connected to the 5 gigahertz just fine. It shows 2 antennas, but if you look in here, you'll see that there's a wire going only to one of them. So this thing only has one antenna. So let me show you what it does when you plug it up to power and it's not been configured. So I've plugged it in.
Welcome to Smart Camera. Please configure Wi-Fi.
Now it will say that until you configure the Wi-Fi. It'll just keep repeating it until you want to, throw it through a wall. Cats. Anyways, I'm not going to go through and show you all the functions of this camera because I don't. It's just, to me, it's not worth it.
Please configure Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Now, if you plug it into my cat's going to go throw a fit. If you plug it into a network cable, it will get an IP and then it'll stop saying that, but it'll say something interesting.
Wi-Fi connection successfully.
It has nothing separate for connecting to a LAN connection. You can, if your phone is on the same network as this, you can add it through that and you can control it through the local network. But yeah, if you connect it to Wi-Fi, it will automatically change to wired network. When you connect a wired network and back, you don't have to tell it what to do. There are no open ports on this camera, so I've tried to see if there's any open ports at all, and there are none. I've done a port scan on it and it's completely closed. If there are any ports, they don't respond, or they're just not open. It's pan, tilt, zoom, but the only zoom it has is a digital zoom, which is not zoom. And you notice that it's moving. It is tracking me. If I move my head or something in the scene moves, it will follow it, sort of, because I'm too close. As for the waterproof, IP66 means that this thing can handle a high pressure jet of water, and if you look at this is completely open under here, so if you hit this with a high pressure jet of water, it's just going to squirt water up inside here and hit the motors. The SD card goes in here, and there's a reset switch. I believe it holds it'll take a maximum of 128 gig SD card. I consider this thing a toy. It would be something that maybe you put in a little kid's room to monitor a baby, or inside your house to monitor the inside of your house, or maybe underneath a porch outside where it can't get wet. I haven't tested how far it works because I'm not going to be using it. But when it's configured, if you have the alarm turned on, which by default it's not, you can have it announce to people, like if somebody walks into your yard or in front of your house, you can have it announce to people to leave. It plays the same computer voice. I think you might be able to upload your own, but generally it'll say, please leave, you've entered a secure area, please leave the area, something like that. And it won't stop until it thinks they've left. So if it misidentifies an object as a person, it'll just sit there and tell them to leave forever. It says perfect after sales and tech support in the information, but yet there's no contact information given that I saw. Searching on the internet for the model number really doesn't find anything of use, other than you'll find the NI3C website. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.